you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today, we're here with our money mindset coach, Miss Caren Fern, all the way from Toronto, Canada. I'm Tara Lena from California Cover Ups. And I want to give a shout out to my partner, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. So sit back, relax, hey, hydrate, and let's get started with our coach. Hi, Caren. How you doing this morning?
Hi, Terry. I'm Fab. How are you?
All is well. What are
Mm.
we talking about today, Caren?
Today we're talking about content creation for marketing.
Mm,
Because everything we do, it has to have a strategy behind it. And
mm,
the reason you want to have that is because that dictates how the business goes. We hear all the time that businesses fail. How much businesses fail. I
mm-hmm.
remember Tony saying, or somebody was listening to who's saying that, if 10 businesses fail, every so often, then why not start 10 businesses? One out of 10 businesses
It,
prosper, the other nine fail. So start 10, forget about the other nine that's going to fail anyway, and then you got one, right?
yes, and I've heard people say fail quickly because
Yes.
you're going to fail. And I don't believe that. I mean, I made money from day one.
Yeah,
So
well, some people is not. Some people just don't. It depends. It really depends on what you're selling. I could sit down with a great idea, map the whole thing out, and realize that I'm going to make pennies on the dollar. I scrap the idea. I might not even do
mm-hmm,
anything with it. And sometimes I park an idea, but then I bring it forward years later because the time now is ready to handle it. But at that time,
mm-hmm.
it was ready. So it just
I
depends on
see.
what's going on. If I'm selling
Yes.
food, it's money right away. If I feel like I'm doing anything that is product based, to me, it's a faster money. Service base could take a little more time building up.
Yes. That's true. Mm-hmm.
That's the yin and yang with business, and you have to decide which one you can wait on and which one
Ah,
would make sense for you to do right now, even if it's not something you love, but it's going to bring money in your pocket immediately. All right.
gotcha.
So without any further ado, we talk about content creation for marketing, so I'm going to talk about a couple of questions. Um, in here and try to answer them to a certain point so that you can get a feel of what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Hi Jay, how are you? How you doing? So if you're not a writer, you keep thinking you can't write and all that sort of thing. But just to give you a little, backdrop, all anytime you decide to go in business, you better believe you need to study marketing and sales. It is important for your business, period. I'm going to say this and I'm going to leave it alone, but it is important, important, important. If you don't want to do any of those two things, you shouldn't be in business. And if you say to me, well, kind of can hire it out, I'm going to still say this is a part of your business. This is the imagine you standing, but you have no intestine, nothing inside of you. You're not
Mm.
gonna stay. You can't be held up. And that's what sales and marketing is for your business.
Ah,
It cannot
wow.
stay without your whole inside. Okay.
Wow. I hadn't looked at it that way. As a skeleton, that the marketing piece is like the skeleton of the body.
No, you're in the things that functions your body, right? Your heart, your liver, your lungs, all those sort of things that is needed inside of you to function right. If you got trouble with your liver or something with the kidney, what happens? Everything throws it off. So marketing and sales is like that. If you're not doing your marketing consistently,
Mm-hmm.
which eventually leads to sales, then at some point there's going to be a sinkhole. And once you start stepping in the sinkhole, it's like sinking sand. It pulls you down like gravity, like nobody's business. It just
Oh my
pulls you
goodness.
down. You have to consistent. We see the big guys marketing. I'm like, God, we
Mm.
get it. No, they understand that you have to keep telling people, even if those same people are buying, you have to keep telling them, educating them, and it don't have to be pressurous. It just have to be continuous. Okay,
Oh wow.
all right. So,
Okay.
right?
Because sometimes seriously now,
hmm
and I know there are a lot of other business owners that feel this way. It feels like you're being redundant.
hmm
Um, Even though I have a different product every every week, it just because you're talking to your same audience. If sometimes I feel like, am I badgering these people? Am
Nope,
I annoying them?
nope,
Uh,
nope. I could tell
Okay.
you're not annoying them because even when I used to just sell food, like every week I'd send my sister, that was my sales rep, and she goes to my biggest clients and she says, it's Monday again and blah blah blah. I got a little spill. She goes, she said, for this week we're gonna have this and that. On Wednesday, look out for the special. Wednesday she's back there, and I can tell you, if she miss a Wednesday, the people are like, so you didn't have the special? Like they're sending their kids to, we'll have it special. We'll have the Wednesday special. You are
Gotcha.
not bothering people when they love what you have. Life is
Okay.
busy, so you want it, you know it. Let me move forward my alteration business. At the top of the year, I call everybody, or coming around this time, I'm like, school is opening. You guys have anything you want to go back to work fresh as your kids for school? Oh my God, I have these things. I lost a lot of weight in the summer. Thank you for reminding me. I'll be there in a couple of hours. Can I come tomorrow?
Ah.
And then all of a sudden, once a couple of people come in, more people come in. And you just call them
Mm.
and you remind them a couple times a year. That's part of your business should set up this way. But what happens with a lot of small business owners, we think we don't need to do those things. And I keep telling people,
Well,
calendar is your friend. The calendar is your
I don't know if we think that we don't need to do it as much as we think it might be annoying people. I guess because we're all so bombarded with advertising that we don't want to, we feel like we're piling on, and we don't want to be known for that. It feels like you're maybe hassling people or
friend. Mhm.
hounding people or begging people as opposed to informing them. And I think we need to flip the script about the language. We're
Exactly.
informing them and notifying
Yes.
them and giving them information about the latest product.
Somebody else is going to give it to them if you don't want to.
That's true. That's so true.
Somebody else is going to give it to them if you don't want to. So
Hmm.
you have to give to them. You're not bothering anybody. And plus, if you have no money, you better go bother people. Period. Go bother the heck out of them until somebody buy so you can really have a business to begin with.
Mm.
And then once it's on your calendar, okay, think about this. Any job you're at right now working, those people are marketing. That's why you're being paid. Nobody that owns a company take money out of their pocket and pay somebody. Somebody's
Mm.
paying them to pay you. And they have
Okay.
to reach out to those people so that you can be paid. And I don't care even if it's the government. They're getting paid somewhere. That's why you're getting paid.
Hmm.
That's a fact. So they have to keep marketing themselves. They have to keep promoting themselves. They have to keep telling people about what they do. So, I was in charge of accounts receive payroll, not setting up people pay, but making sure the hours are right. If I didn't send in the right thing, then they weren't paid. And I also was in charge of the security of the gambling stations, right? So I was part of what I do behind the scenes. I'm not a security where you
Mm.
see me. I'm a security on the behind the scenes. I'm seeing what you do. I'm spying on you, if you will. And those to
Mm.
have that rolling, they're advertising all the time. That's why so many of us in the background are being paid. The more people go play
Oh.
the games, the more we get paid.
Yeah. Okay.
So everybody's advertising. That's part of life. Advertising doesn't have to be the commercial. It could just be what I'm going to talk about today a little bit about the content creation, about having a conversation. And that's why I'm working so hard in the conversation seller, because advertising is really having a conversation and exchanging money for
Oh.
the value that you're giving to somebody. That's it. Everybody wants value. If your wash and dryer break down, we want somebody to come repair it. If you didn't know about this person, who would you call? They've been the
Mm.
top of your mind. That's why you call them. That's why they're there doing it. Have
Gotcha.
to think about it this way, okay? Think about your
Oh.
business this way. Just that's why we always said know your why, know why you're selling this. So when you talk to people, you can deliver this message to them. And they
Mm.
lean in. When you're telling somebody something good, they lean in and they really want to be involved in it. They want to tell other people about it. Don't
Mm.
forget this, they really do. So content creation is what happens in your world today. And this is how you have to look at it for the online world. I'm going to talk offline after. Let me talk about the online world. You're out and about, you're going about your day, great things been happening to you, and you now have to practice and train your mind. So this is where the mind stuff come in. You practice and train your mind to start seeing things that relate to your business.
Mm.
Everything that you see and that's happening around you, make sure that you can find a way to inject you into what's happening. So for Terralina cover up, because it's clothing, when she's around it about, she needs to watch how people are dressing, what they're wearing, what's trending, what's happening, how her cover up is going to go with an outfit that they have already. This is an add on, right? How they're going
Yes.
to take her cover up and actually find an under to go with it. All of these things you want to look into. But you want to look into it by watching what's going on, by listening in. Yes, you're going to have to be a little listener. You're going to have to be a people watcher. Just watch it and see what people are doing and have this conversation and want to talk about it. And it doesn't have to be long, it could be very short and sweet. But people want to know that you tune into what you're doing. And when you tune into it, they get inquisitive and they want to ask you questions. And by
Hmm.
questioning you, they want to buy from you eventually. It mightn't seem so, but it really does. Some people ask you a bunch of questions and buy nothing. And then later they'll come back to you and buy something or send you tons of people and they bought nothing. That's the other thing.
Okay. That's so true.
I had a friend used to be she's my best cheerleader. She probably buy one or two things for me, but boy, the amount of people she would send my way is unbelievable. She talks about me all the time. She send me people. And what do you do? Yeah, I'm sending some people your way. She doesn't want to be in business, but she is like one of the best cheerleaders. You just have to tell
Hmm.
her what you're doing, and she'll have a good conversation with people for you.
Wow. Nice.
You know. Number
Hmm.
two, how can you, and I touch on that, how can you tie what you do into it? So if you're content writing, and here's how the calendar is coming into play, it's always good to plan. You plan out what you want to talk about. And you don't have to have everything written, you just plan it out. What you want to talk about, and then here's the beauty of the mind. It will find the information you need and bring it to you.
Hmm. Okay.
It just takes practice. And it just like this is if you're strolling down Facebook,
Uh-huh.
take yourself 15 minutes and you think about something and scroll down Facebook. Somebody is going to be talking about it. It will pull it to you. You can go in there and put in your 2 cents. You can pick up what you said, put it in your Google Docs, accumulate it, turn it around, move around some words, and now put it on your page because you
Wow.
were the creator of that content. Because somebody spoke about something that you can inject yourself in. And you can simply
Mm.
say, Pam, yesterday Pam was talking about the top that, the V-neck didn't fit the person right. And I could see what she was talking about. You commented that, you bring Pam over because her name, you make sure everything come over. So her audience, she's going to see you talk about her. She's going to go see what you talk about. And more than likely, if it's something she likes, she's going to talk about it again. People are
Mm.
seeing you and her now. There's two people, your eyeballs, her eyeballs, and then her audience eyeballs. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we don't realize how many people see what we talk about until they reach out to us.
Wow.
So it's never just you writing content for content's sake.
Mm-hmm.
It's always a strategy behind it. And if you don't have that, and if you don't have that in marketing, you're not going to sell anything. You have to have a strategy behind everything you are doing.
Wow. It just makes sense. And as I work this business more and more, I
Mhm,
see more opportunities. I was talking this morning about the fact that, okay, the whole back to school thing,
mhm,
you know what I mean? I just
yeah,
miss that because my kids are grown, and so I used to tell time by the school calendar.
mhm.
So, you know, there's just so many opportunities that we
So many options because you have
when we don't
granted.
strategize.
Yeah, you have granted. But see if you plan ahead, like
Mhm.
next year, in
Mhm.
a couple of months, I'm going to be planning for 2020, the whole year.
Yeah.
I'm going to be planning out the whole year because when I do that, I free up so much time. It don't feel pressure us anymore. Everything is lined up. And I give room for flexibility, by the way. Don't think I'm just piling this on you. And I'll talk about that in a minute. I give room for flexibility. So what I'm putting in there, what I'm setting out to do is just a guideline. So that if I feel like flexing and taking something out, I'm okay. But if I don't have the time, I've got the plug there already. I've got things on my Google Doc I could just pick up and put
Ah.
somewhere. I could just take it, move a few words around, and I'm answering somebody's question,
Mm.
or I'm putting it on my own page, or I'm putting it somewhere else, or I'm using it. I'm not. creating this content and it's just strictly for this page and I can't do anything with it and I gotta write 10 more content. No, 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 no. That's not what I'm talking about
Okay.
here. Mm-mm. This is you putting it in a place where you could go pick it up. That's why you want it on Google Doc or Word or wherever, whatever you're using, and you really want to put it here, there. Here's another little tip. I've set up a win for myself and how I feel and how it worked. So when I plug that in there, like once I have it in my Google Doc and it's been getting a lot of likes and conversation, I put it in there. I talk about how I feel. I make it as a win so I can go back later and pull it out. And maybe I want to say a lot of people thought this was good information I shared the other day. La 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 la.
Ah.
And I share it again. I share a lot of things over and over again. Nobody's counting
Mm.
to see how many times I've shared it. No. Once is the information that is needed at that time. That's it. We
Oh.
complicate things. That's it. Content creation is not hard. It just needs to be strategized so you can
Mm.
understand and measure the outcome you want from it. You got to measure it. If you're not measuring, you don't know how far you have come. You just don't know. You think you might, maybe, but you don't know. You have to measure it to know. And then you can say, hey, my business is not doing good. This is not happening in this area. What can I do to improve it? And then you fix it. But usually we're not fixing because we're thinking we're doing nothing and nothing is
Uh-huh.
going right. But so many things are going right because every time I sit down with a client and they said nothing's going right, and I start having them list all the things that's going right, they're like, what? Yes, all those things are going right. All these great things are happening. I remember I had this client that once that came and she wanted to quit her job and she's explained why she couldn't quit her job. She's miserable, but she couldn't quit. Two people quit. They're stressed over. She couldn't quit because she's got a mortgage. She's been there for I think about 8 years by then. They haven't given her a raise in over 2 years, so she's falling behind on some bills. Oh, you name it, what was happening, but she still couldn't leave this job. And so I made her list the first week, all the things she did in the job. I mean, she was shocked at how much things she covered in the job
Wow.
alone. So that alone is going to set up such a wonderful resume, for this new position. And then she can go
Yes.
sell herself on this new position, really being happy. But the first thing she had to do is at the job she didn't like and it was stressing her. She need to be at that job and she need to be extra excited about the job. She
Mm.
needs to
Mm.
showcase to people that what she's doing, she's happy to do it. And she also needed to go in and set boundaries, the things she wouldn't do anymore. And she's like, there's no way I could do that. I said, okay, so today we're only going to tell them one thing you're not doing. And
Mm.
we went and she took about 6 things off her plate. Salary never changed, but she took 6 things off her plate that she
Mhm.
really was given to get done. That actually she was doing it for somebody else who was wasting time. So, she gave them back their job that they're supposed to do.
Exactly.
And she started feeling happier because now, she can leave at a certain time. She's not weighed down with all the work. And she said, I don't know if I want to leave. I said, but let's hold on. Let's still apply for other jobs because I'm not sure what you want. Given I wanted to get the opportunity and to understand that she didn't have to stay in that job. It was a
Mm-hmm.
choice. I wanted her to see that it was a choice. She didn't need to stay there. And I'm bringing this back around to business. If you're doing a business and you don't love the business, don't love where you're at, you can change it. Nobody can keep you hostage in that business. Don't
Mm-hmm.
worry looking, but looking bad. Oh my God, if I was worried about looking bad, girl, you wouldn't even know me. I've done so many things. And I've heard it from people who said to me, I can't believe you're not doing that anymore. I mean, you're so good at it. I'm like, yeah, but it's not paying me. It's not doing me any good. Like, I can't work.
Mm-hmm.
Bye. And I move on from it because it wasn't paying me the way I had seen for it. Obviously, it was something that was people wanting at the moment. I might bring it back around sometimes. But once I see it's not doing and I give it a time, it's the other thing.
Uh-huh.
I'm a 30, 60, 90 days gal. And if I see in those days, if it's something I really want to go after, and I put in my 120%, because if I'm
Uh-huh.
putting 80%, I also call myself out. I'm like, Karen girl, you're just giving that thing 80%. You're not really pushing at it. Like, you're really not. If you don't want to do it, just drop it. And I would drop it. So you have to
Gotcha.
be honest with yourself also. Number three was how often it seems like, whatever you got to do feel like a lot. And that is very discouraging when you think it's a lot. And so
Mm.
Back to writing down, we're back to systemizing. Because when it's in the system, and last week I talked about blocking it off, when you block it off, you realize the things you're thinking that take a lot of time, it don't. You spend a lot of procrastinating time doing
Oh, a
it,
lot of time thinking about it.
but not doing it. So you are
Exactly.
equating the thinking time to the doing time. When in honest,
Mm.
if you're honest with yourself, you're like, wait, hold on. You know, uh, I could do that in an hour, but I spent 3 hours
Mm-hmm.
on it and I'm whining about the 2 hours that I just wasted. Now, if it's to research 2 hours, if it's I'm going to take a rest for 2 hours, it's fine. But don't say the thing take you 3 hours when you didn't actually work on it for 3 hours.
Mm.
Take
Mm-hmm.
your time. Put
Hey,
on the timer.
Jerry says amen. And Khal- Khalitha, Khalitha Anderson said, oh, that's a good tip. Yes. Get a strategy and make sure that you block off the time so that you're not spending the time worrying about when you're going to get it done. Is that basically
Yes. Yes.
what I hear you
Yes.
saying?
Yes.
And
It's
then, but
gonna
we do
take you.
count that time.
It's gonna take you a long time to get done if you never did the thing before.
Mm.
Understand this. I know
Uh-huh.
everybody want to build a team, but building a team without knowing what you're doing, it's gonna cost you money. Let me just tell you right
Mm.
now, it's gonna cost you money. Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
You need a team, yes. You plan for the team. Here is the things I have to accomplish in the next 30 days. And while I'm accomplishing those things, you better right next to it how I'm feeling, what I like doing, what I don't like doing,
Mm.
how much am I willing to pay to get it done, so that when people
Okay.
charge you, you have put the money aside to pay the people because you didn't want to do it. But
Mm.
you need to tell them what to do. You've got
Yes.
to give them the guidance. I used to like tell people, and I still do, I talk about business budget. And in your
Mm-hmm.
budget, you can put, I want a VA and how much I want to pay a VA per month, $500, $1,000, depending on what they do. And then you list all the things you want the VA to do. And, work fashion, how often you're going to use them. Got this set. So when you decide to book a call with a VA and have the conversation, you're not coming empty handed. And he or she get to say to you, listen, this is not my department. And
Mm-hmm.
that is not what I do as a VA, because as a VA, I could do all the Facebook posting. I could help people create content. And by the way, I used to do that. I help people do things on Twitter, and I'm in the background getting all those stuff done. And you pay me X amount of dollars per month, right? And I just
Mm-hmm.
fulfill. I'm your admin, and I get these things done behind the scene. But if you come and you don't know what you want, it can cost you more. If I'm doing all your Canva design, if I'm doing all the writing, and I'm setting up and scheduling all the posts under you, and you're doing nothing, I'm answering questions, it's gonna cost you more.
Well, yeah, because you're not really engaged with the customer. That's called
Mhm.
a whole marketing department. So if you want a marketing department, you need to pay for a marketing department,
Exactly.
or you need to
Exactly. So you have to think
DIY.
about all those
Uh-huh.
things. You got to think about all those things when you're starting off in business. And most people don't even know. A lot of people, I shouldn't say most people, but a lot of people, I think about a business, I get these stuff and I start a business. One of the biggest things about starting a business, you really need to sit down and say, listen, I've got $500 and that's what I'm going to start my business with. And I'm starting it on the 29th of August, 2019. And here's the thing I want to accomplish in the next 30 days. And if you're sick, if you're not feeling good, you get your butt up and you do it in the 30 days. I'm telling you, here's why. Every single thing that come against you when you want to do something really important is going to come against you. And so you're going to have
Yes.
to punch through. You can't go lie down. I'm sorry. Usually I say take a rest. This is the time where you get up and you push and you show that this is what I want to do. Get out the boxing gloves, work or exercise, do whatever you can. And all of a sudden, because it's your mind, you're really boxing. You're really
Hmm.
boxing your mind into gear. You're really pushing it and punching and then you're uppercut, kicks, whatever you needed to do. You're doing it because
That's amazing.
in
Yes.
30 days, you want
Hmm.
to amaze yourself and you want to write it out. Give yourself a little sticker, give yourself a little certificate, whatever. I've accomplished that. Boom. You
Yes, Jerry says yes. We call that celebrating the wins at Biz Chicks. Make a list of what you really got done so that you can realize you are making progress.
don't try to do it perfectly. Imperfect actions every time result in so much better stuff. I'm queen to messing things up. I even had a bag with a lot of mess of stuff that I've made, didn't come out well. And then one day I had a garage sale and I sell it to a lady for about $20
It is amazing, isn't it?
because she's going to take my scraps and do whatever she's going to make with it. She was quite happy to pay $20 for a bag of, you know, my
Fabric.
toil and excess
Hmm.
fabric and what have you. And I move
Hmm.
along, and anybody try to remind me about it, I'm laughing about it anyway. So you can't really make me feel bad. Just
There
kidding.
you go.
Because people who are not doing great stuff like to stop to tell you how good you are not doing. Don't listen to them. You have
Or
a
or
track.
what or what else you should be doing.
Yes,
Oh my
yes.
gosh, you should
Oh,
be doing this and you should be, well, what are you doing?
thank you. Thank you. You leave me alone. I'm doing my stuff. You leave me alone. You leave me alone. You just leave me alone. If you think you can't write, you start writing, and that means you are writing.
Hmm.
Period. You don't have to make it right. You just have to write it, and you continuously write it, check, spell it, do your grammar check, what have you, people are going to tell you about your grammar. Oh well, don't take offense. They've got probably more problems than you. You just keep writing. Eventually, you're going to catch it yourself. Or when somebody like it or comment, and you go back. I've gone back to my comment and see, I left out little words or a comma, and I just go back and edit it. Nobody told me, but I go back
Well,
and I do it.
w- well, here's the other thing. Sometimes when things are imperfect, it catches people's attention.
Yes.
It means they're really reading it. Oh, so you caught that? Okay. And I don't know if I've ever really, well, I won't say all books, but a number of books that I've read recently have a number of edits that were not
Thank
caught. And
you.
I think because a lot of the editing now is done electronically. And
Thank you.
so after the editor edits it, then the software goes in and auto corrects something that was not what the editor caught. And so the book comes out and you're like, what? What is this?
And big, big name books. I've got a book with Tony
Yes,
here. They had so much mistakes in the money book. I had a book from Robert, and I said, "What's going on?" Like I was highlighting and putting in what needed.
exactly. And I think it's because once the editor edits it and they put it in um, system, the system starts auto correcting stuff. So the editor has already looked at it. They think it's all good. And the thing is, it's changed. And now the client's calling up talking about, what is this on page 26? I didn't do that. I corrected. That didn't even need correcting. So I don't know what you're talking about. You
You
know?
see, and editing takes time, and we want
Yeah.
it yesterday, and that really causes these things to happen because you can really look at stuff and everything is okay. You're right that way, but also the editors could miss something, and
Hmm.
you can't just get hung up on that. The other thing, like if you get hung up on these things, you wouldn't move forward. That's why when
Correct.
you buy a new house, they give you 2 years here, I think, or a little more, where they say, look, if the basement flood, call us and we'll fix it. If the door fall off, call us and we'll fix it. If the wood raise up, call us, we'll fix it. For the next
Uh-huh.
2 years, call us. Okay? And we'll fix it. Because we know crap happened and we're not trying to tell you anything, we're just gonna fix it.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. They
And
fix
stuff
it.
does
You
happen.
got
People,
2 years. So
if you
all
wait for
right.
all things to be perfect, you'll never move
Never
forward.
move forward. Never move forward. You have to go with it. You have to go with it. You have to make it work. You have to take what you have and put it out there because unless you do it, this is the other thing. You can't correct what you haven't done.
Karen, I want to say this. I think a lot of times people go into business and we start using what we think are simple terms like marketing. Marketing is nothing more than telling people what you got going on, people. And we toss that word around all the time. Marketing and funnels and la di da di da di, all these little technical terms, but
True.
basically it's just letting people know what you do,
Yes. On a consistent basis. On a
what you
consistent.
got going on.
Hmm. On a consistent basis, and eventually asking for the sale. Because if you keep marketing and you never ask people to buy anything, you're not selling anything.
Oh,
Shall I just say it?
Kalitha says waiting for perfection. That was her story. Well, girlfriend, don't wait. We're
Mm-mm.
waiting for your gift. Just put it
Yes.
out here.
Yes.
We can perfect the crust later.
Yes.
Okay.
Get it done. Put it
Mm,
out there. Put it
mm-hmm.
out. Get it done. I remember when I used to seal my plan and chips, and I had it in stores. I don't know if you
Mm-hmm.
guys know what a mosquito coil look like. You know the mosquito
Mm,
coil? It
no.
coils around. Okay. Anyway, it burns so the mosquito, just like the stuff you guys have burning here, but it's a coil. And I didn't have a sealing machine. I
Mm-hmm.
put my mosquito coil on and I just hold it and then I seal the plastic. That's how I seal it until I got a professional sealing machine.
Machine.
That's what I
Yeah.
have. You use whatever you have, you make the best of it, and then you have to go with confidence. And that's the other thing. You got to show up online, but people knows it. People think online you can't feel it. You know when somebody is feeling not confident. When they put
Mm-hmm.
stuff out and they're asking for permission in like 10 groups, and you've seen them over and over asking the same questions, and people
We used to call that fishing for the answer that you want. You know what I mean? When you start polling the whole audience, you know what I mean?
honestly, honestly, just do what it is you want to do and then correct. Nobody can tell you how to do your business. Nobody can tell you.
Mm.
But when
And
you,
who knows? In that imperfection, you may stumble on the next big idea.
yeah, usually that's what happened. Now, to take that information and then massage it and get it right. Yes, you hire it out. You get people there, and you get them to come in there and you know. But that massaging is like when I first started coaching people and letting them know how long it
Hmm.
takes to get to something. They're like, "Well, somebody told me I can do this in 30 days." I'm like, because maybe you were set up over here. Don't mistake it. You were set up over here so you understand what to do. But if you're coming in fresh and you have an idea
Hmm.
about building a glass, you haven't run a business. You can just build a glass. That's it.
Wow. Well, Coach, we've been here a minute, and
Yeah.
have we touched on all of the points
All
that
three.
you?
Yeah, we covered them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's review.
So today we talk about mostly questions I offer up. What's happening in your world today that you can take and push you in there to write
Hmm.
your content? Okay? Because people got to get to know you. And then number two was how can you tie all this together and make it look good, fun to read, and people want to interact with you. This is important. And I want you to take it, put it in your Word document, put it in your Google Doc so you can reuse it over and over again in different formats. And number three, if it really, really seems like it's a lot of work to do, well, business is a lot of work to do. But you can chunk it down. Last week I talked about productivity and putting it in different piles so that you could
Hmm.
honestly get it done. And you're not pretending that it took you 3 hours to make something or do something when it really, god darn, is just an hour. But you spend the other two scrolling, looking, checking out, figuring out, and that's not the time it took you. Now, in your business world, you need to set aside time for learning, researching, and practicing, and then you go do. Don't get
Hmm.
stuck on those three though. You gotta go do. But those are time should be set aside so that when you're doing, you're not doing those other three. You're not practicing, learning, and researching. You're actually doing. Doing is doing. Action taken is action taken.
I
That's
love
my
it.
spiel for the day.
Doing is doing. That's good. That needs to put be on a meme. Doing is doing. Okay. Oh my gosh. Well, Coach, we always enjoy talking to you on Wednesdays about our money. And I think the thing that we need to wrap our minds around is that you can't make money at the rate that you want to until your mind is set on a strategy. So we thank you today for helping us with the strategy for getting the word out about what we do, aka marketing content.
Yes.
Because you got to have something to say. So that will be your content. So
Yes.
basically, what we're talking about today, folks, was saying something about what you got going on in your business.
There you go.
So with that, I just want to thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank
Remember
you.
that tomorrow is Happy Healthy Habits with Robin Shimizu and friends. You can't keep your wealth if you don't have your health. So with that, we want to remind you also on Friday, we'll be talking tech and English. So don't be scared. Tune on in. And if you have questions for Coach Caren, be sure to put them in the chat. If you're watching on the replay, we do monitor that and we will get back to you. Kalitha says, I jumped in late. Where's Coach Caren found on social media? Coach, where can we find you? See?
Island Girl Hustle. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube coming soon. And I have a group called Island Girl Hustle too. So
So we will put that in the chat for you, Kalitha, so you'll know how to spell it. But it's basically Island Girl Hustle. HUSTLE. Okay? That's is that hustle? That's
yes,
oh,
HUSTLE.
yeah. I'm like, okay. And with that, we want to remind you guys and give a shout out to Fran, who's been producing this show all while
Yes.
we're on the air. Thanks, Fran. And remind you guys, don't forget
Go
to
in
go to the
front of
front of
your
your
own
own
line.
line. See you later.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.